Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So here we have another 2K clear job, but luckily this one's pretty deteriorated. You can see it's really just this portion right through here, and a little bit right here. This side is all deteriorated. You can actually see some swirl marks from how they did it previously. They did the same thing. They sanded it to a certain grit and applied the 2K clear. This side, same thing. It's pretty much all gone except on the bottom. So hopefully it doesn't give us too much trouble, but let's do it. Alright guys, you can see we removed all of that filming with the razor. Came off great. I made sure to remove everything from the edge. If you ever are in the position where you're using that same method, make sure you watch right here on the bottom panel, the bumper, that way you don't cut into it. I cut into the tape a little bit right here, but not into the actual bumper, so if you are using that method, make sure you pay very, very close attention. So now we're going to move on to the 320 and pretty much get everything, all this old stuff removed. So all the oxidation is removed. We're down to the raw headlight. Now we're going to sand with the 400. It's going to remove all the deeper scratches made from the 320. Now we're going to move on to the 600. That's going to prep the lens, the texture of the lens perfectly for the clear coat. And also remove any tinier scratches. This is the state that you want the lens in. You want it nice and milky, not very see-through, no really dark spots or anything from the old clear coat or oxidation. Now that we've blasted all the trapped water out, we're going to sanitize it. We're going to remove any oils, moisture, or any leftover debris from the sanding. Got a rubbing alcohol here on this cloth. Get it nice and sanitized. You gotta mask the headlight off. thing I have to stress, guys, is when you are sanitizing or cleaning the headlight, do not use dish soap or anything like that. You don't want to leave any residue on there. With rubbing alcohol, it dries very, very quickly. Alright, so now we're going to be applying the new clear coat using the Next Gen Headlight Solutions clear coat. You can find a link in the bio. You want to make sure that it's completely dry, no moisture or anything like that. Make sure that you shake the can for about 30 seconds before spraying. And also make sure that it's at room temperature. So it's early morning. It's roughly about 47 degrees. It's actually pretty cold here in Florida. So whenever I finish spraying it, it is going to have some flash off, meaning it's going to look a little hazy. Just got to give that time and let it sit so it dries. Do a little test spurt here on the bottom. You can see the spray pattern. I'm just going to go back and forth with the 50% overlap. We're just going to let it sit. So you can see there's actually no flash off. That's more than likely because I heated up the can. Didn't really heat it up, but it was at room temp. I just kind of put it in my pocket while I was driving to the customer. So we're just going to let it sit and glass over. Switch over to this side. Same thing, we're gonna get everything removed with the 320. Start in the corner. Alright, you can see it's nice and milky, so all the yellowiness is gone. So now we'll move on to the 400. As you can tell, you're done with the 600. If you are hand sanding, you can feel how smooth it slides across the lens. There's like no friction or nothing fighting me, and I can feel that when I first start. So I can feel there's a little friction against me when I first start, and as I keep sanding, it gets smoother and smoother, and there's less resistance. So that's how I know that the deeper scratches or the texture of the lens is getting to the right spot. Alright, you can see right here the water is beginning to repel. That's another indicator that the lens is good to go. Just going to pull this tape off very gently. Alright, and then the same thing, we're just going to strafe it back and forth. I'm just going to move the camera back a little bit because it's kind of in my way. There we go. Inspect it, make sure there's no texturing. And just like that. Alright, so traditionally you want to let it sit and get it tack free before you remove this, but if you do have multiple jobs and you're kind of on a schedule, it's okay to remove it after you spray it. Just make sure that you are very, very careful because you don't want the masking paper to slap back into the headlight while it's still wet. Alright, and here's the finished product. You can see that permanent damage right there from the old the 2K clear. This one is still has a little bit of flash off right here. You can kind of see it, but overall, tap's better. No scuff marks, no scratches or nothing, no peeling. Alright guys, thanks for watching.